everything about it in us is completely benevolent and wise. There isn't a thought we have or an emotion we have or an appearance that occurs that isn't an appearance of stainless wisdom. But unless we rest completely, we will never know that. We will never know decisively the experiential meaning of those words. We can't possibly know that. And if we entertain ourselves as flawed and others as, then we'll automatically entertain others as flawed. If we see ourselves as flawed, we see everybody else as flawed. So we need to really rest and say, okay, what is going on here? How much of this do I know to be true about myself? How much of this can I really definitively say through my own experience of totally natural rest is true about myself? And does original sin apply to me, or is it just a point of view appearing in pure space, empty of an independent origin like all other points of view? Do karma and reincarnation apply to me, or are these just points of view appearing in pure, timeless, forever stainless space that has never been made into anything? And then as we rest completely in the direct encounter with all these belief systems and assumptions about who we take ourselves to be, we start to see what's really going on in a very clear way. Then it becomes clear that everything is an impeccable wisdom that is beyond the need to put all these systems in place in order to describe things, that we don't really need all these descriptions to make sure that we know what things that are and evil are. And when we rest completely, no matter what we're doing, so we can be running around, studying, working, making love, defecating, it doesn't matter what we're doing. We're always totally naturally at rest. But no matter what it is, we're entirely and completely at rest. There's nothing that is not at rest. And when we rest completely as the open spaciousness of everything as it is, then it becomes so clear that there's never been a division anywhere. There's never been a division, and there's never been a mark or stain. There's nothing in pure space that has ever been marked or stained. It is forever stainless, forever flawless. So when we rest as that, it becomes clear to us that these points of view that say we may be flawed are probably something we need to reconsider. Maybe within looking at everything as good and evil, it was necessary to put in systems related to good and evil, systems of social and political control to make sure that good was perpetuated and evil was stomped out. So maybe that's how some of these things came about. Who knows? But, when we really rest with it, it becomes clear that things like original sin and reincarnation and karma, what they really do is perpetuate kind of a ruling class of everything, where there's certain people who know it all and have ruling authority over everyone else. Well, perhaps in a world of good and bad, systems like this are necessary. But we as human beings have evolved beyond that. We've really evolved beyond that. And now it's really important for us to evolve into this new mind that is beyond all these words and concepts that have fragmented us within ourselves and also fragmented us as a species. We really must do this. So just rest completely, rest totally and irrevocably as the absolutely pure space of what you really are. The pure space of what you really are has never been made into anything, including you. So whether you are or not, the pure space of you always is. When we hear things like, I'm birthless, I'm deathless, I'm timeless, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, it feels so good. We know it's true, but unless we have the decisive experience of that, we'll be lost in space, so to speak. It was so shit. Now, everything I'm talking about here today, these are timeless truths, but in every era, these timeless truths have been spoken in a way that people who live at that time could understand them. So this is a way of speaking about things at this time in a way that everyone all over the world can understand it. We all know we're aware. There's no one anywhere who can say, I'm not aware. So this is not an abstraction. It's a decisive experience that we have as human beings. We are aware. If we say the absolute or Dharmakaya or this or that, then that's kind of an abstraction. It's not really something we can decisively relate to our own experience of being human. But when we want to know about being human, we need to take it back to that about us by which we have knowledge of being human. And we have knowledge of being human by awareness. Without awareness, we wouldn't know we are. So when we just rest as that pure space of awareness without needing to describe ourselves as anything else, then we come to know everything about this appearance right here and all other appearances. When we rest as the pure space of awareness and we see so conclusively that all points of view just appear within this awareness, but that we've never been caught up in them in any way, even if it seems that we have, then we know that about everybody else too. We know what troubles the world. We know it through our own direct experience, and through our direct experience, we see that it's true about everyone. In our own direct experience, we have an incredible upwelling of compassion that occurs when we see how we fooled ourselves for so long. We just feel a deep kindness for ourselves. And when we feel that kindness for ourselves, we feel it for others. Just like when we feel we're flawed, we feel everyone else is flawed. If we feel we need to be fixed, then we're certain everyone else needs to be fixed. When we have the decisive experience of our own flawlessness, we see that everyone is flawless. Everything is flawless. There's never been anything that's been flawed. And we don't need to set up these rigid structures of what's good and what's bad in order to tap into the wholesome goodness that's at the root of everything. The wholesome goodness of everything is not lost in descriptions and trying to build big piles of good and eradicate the bad. What is wholly positive and originally pure at the core is this absolutely spacious nature of everything. When we rest as that, we see how to bring everything to an excellent conclusion, so to speak. So if we're facing problems of any kind, we just know what to do about those, really, without even thinking about it. It just appears in sublime wisdom. Now, when all these belief systems and conceptual theories meet with sublime wisdom, then they're destroyed. They just disintegrate. What seemed so real one moment, it just isn't real the next, So even though something was taken to be so, all of a sudden it's no longer so. So, this is just like belief systems and conceptual theories. They're like a forest, where all the trees shade and protect each other. But if one tree catches fire, then that fire, like a wildfire, will leap from tree to tree until nothing remains.